Imagine a town caught between two powerful forces of nature. Along the coast of southeastern Ghana, this was the reality for the Awe people in the town of Keta. For generations, they lived in a delicate balance, with the vast Atlantic Ocean in front and the serene Keta Lagoon behind. The sea was their provider, offering fish. The lagoon gave them salt. It was a life built on respect for these two bodies of water. But in the early 1960s, something shifted. The sea, once a trusted neighbor, began to feel like a threat. The elders were the first to notice the subtle warnings. Year after year, the shoreline crept closer. Coconut trees, under which children once played, surrendered to the waves. Graves near the beach, holding generations of ancestors, quietly slipped into the water. Fishermen came back from their trips with uneasy tales of stronger currents and waves that no longer followed the predictable rhythm of the seasons. The elders spoke a chilling truth. The sea is no longer asking, it is advancing. Despite these omens, life had to go on. What was the alternative? This was their ancestral land, the only home they had ever known. So, they rebuilt their homes. They mended their nets. Their children continued to go to school, their laughter echoing against the growing sound of the waves. They lived with a quiet prayer that their home would be spared. Then came the night the sea finally came for Keta. It started after midnight, not with water, but with wind, a sharp, relentless force that howled through the town. Soon after, the waves began their assault, pounding the shore like giant fists. The walls of homes trembled. Roofs rattled, as if trying to tear themselves free. By the time people truly understood the scale of the danger, it was too late. Water was already rushing through the streets, cold and unforgiving. Panic erupted in the darkness. Families fled barefoot, clutching their children and whatever small bundles they could grab. The powerful waves tore through the homes made of mud and wood, splintering them into nothing. As if that wasn't enough, the lagoon behind them overflowed its banks. Keta was trapped, attacked from both sides. Amid the chaos and the roar of the storm, people screamed names into the wind. Children, parents, neighbors, their desperate calls swallowed by the gale. Some scrambled up trees, clinging on for dear life. Others made it to higher ground, forced to watch in helpless horror as the sea literally erased entire sections of their town. When the sun finally rose, it revealed a devastating silence. The storm had passed, but it had taken a piece of their world with it. Parts of Keta were simply gone. Not damaged, not flooded, gone. Houses lay broken like a child's discarded toys. Fishing canoes, once neatly lined on the shore, were now scattered far inland. Sacred sites, places of deep spiritual importance, had vanished beneath the waves. The survivors began the grim task of counting the living and mourning the missing. In the aftermath, many were forced to leave. With nothing left but the clothes on their backs, they walked inland to try and start over. But many others refused to go. They stayed behind, choosing to stand their ground, refusing to abandon the land of their ancestors, even as the sea continued its relentless advance. For years, the people of Keta lived with fear as a constant companion. Every night, they went to sleep wondering, would the sea return tonight? But the Awe people did not fight the sea with anger or weapons. They fought with something far more powerful: endurance. Community leaders began a long, patient campaign, petitioning the government again and again for help. Fishermen gave testimony about the changing ocean. Women spoke with heartbreaking clarity about their lost homes and the terror their children had endured. The elders reminded the nation that Keta was not just a piece of land on a map. It was history, it was culture, it was the soul of their people. After decades of loss, waiting, and unwavering persistence, the government finally listened. In the 1990s, the Keta Sea Defense Project began. It was a monumental undertaking. Massive boulders were brought in and laid along the coast, forming a powerful barrier between the town and the ocean. Concrete walls rose where waves once crashed freely. The sea was not defeated. You can't defeat an ocean, but it was held back. Today, when the waves crash against that sea defense wall, they sound different. They sound like the drums of both warning and survival. The Awe people remember. They remember the night the sea came without mercy. But they also remember the incredible patience it took to survive. They remember the long, difficult years of waiting for help. And they remember rebuilding their lives. Not with bitterness, but with a quiet strength. Keta stands today not because the sea spared it, but because its people refused to disappear. Among the Awe, their essay saying born from that long struggle, even the ocean must learn where a people refuse to move. This isn't a legend. It's the lived history of a community that stared into the abyss and refused to be washed away. Thank you for watching. If this story moved you, Please like, share, and subscribe for more stories of human resilience.